What's going on, everybody? Chroma Rust here, back again with Core Expert Gaming, and today we're going to be gearing a Whirlwind Barb for a little under 15 million, and we're going to be focusing heavily on attack speed and crit chance. So Andario's Visages are good and cheap. I wasn't able to find one with 9 attack speed that had fire damage taken below 10, which is kind of like the area I like to hit when I get them. So we go ahead, pick that one out, and we're going to be getting a Witching Hour next. And why we're going to be focusing on attack speed and crit chance is we're going to want to keep up our Wrath of Berserker as often as possible. So we're going to go ahead, try to get a Witching Hour with strength and 9 attack speed if we can. Now most of our budget, or not most, but a lot of our budget at least, is going to be going into this item. As you saw, our helm was only 200k, and the cheapest Witching Hour up is 1.65. We do go ahead and grab that guy there. Then we're going to go for some Lacunis because we are going to want to get that 24% movement speed. So you can actually search for legendaries. If you want to search for like attack speed on Lacunis, you can just put all armor types on, throw on legendaries, throw attack speed, movement speed, and you'll be looking at mostly Lacuni prowlers. You will get some other items, but for the most part that's going to be it, especially near the bottom range of the items. Now we can't get crit chance on here. I did want to, but we're just not going to be able to, so I do go ahead, pick some up with strength and all resist. And Vile Wards, of course, everyone's favorite, so we're going to try to get some Vile Wards with at least 180 strength and 60 vitality. So we're hoping to do that. There is a few pairs up here that were just posted. They're good and cheap. This one actually has 71 vit, so I think we're going to go ahead and buy that one out here if I do remember correctly. So you guys can let me know. I decided to do a little something different. I wanted to speed up the whole buying process of a set. And so I recorded the video, and then I'm going to play the video and I'm going to commentate over it. So then we're going to go for some Immortal Kings pieces now. We're going to want that 2-piece set bonus, and that's going to give you 60 all resist. So we are going to get a chest, and we're going to look for one for about 800k here. And we do want a decent amount of vitality. We're not going to be able to get a whole lot here, but there was at least one pair I remember that had like around 50 or so vitality. So I think that is the pair we're going to go ahead and pick up, because all the other ones were just a little bit too low, and they pretty much all had like arcane resist or fire resist or cold damage or cold resist. I think one had. This one had a little life regen as well, so I do believe that's the one we're going to go ahead and pick up. And it had pretty decent armor. Not great, but it was okay at least. So for our 2-piece set bonus, we're going to get the Immortal King Strides. I wanted to get some with high dex, but price range was just a little bit too high, so I do end up getting some that have decent all resist and some strength and vitality as well, as you'll see here. So you don't want to buy items super fast. You do kind of want to search around to see what your options are when you are doing something like this. Now it's best to probably take a day or two at least to put a set together. You will be able to find better items and the such, but for this set I did end up building it in about 35 minutes or so. So we go ahead, we grabbed our boots there, and I do, when I'm making a set, I do like to go ahead, load up the game, throw the pieces of gear on, and see where we're sitting. So we are a little bit over 400 all resist and over 3.6k armor and 31k damage, but these are not actually the weapons that we are going to be using. We are going to pick them up a little later. Our vitality is low, sitting at 20k, but we're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces still. So we'll see what ends up happening here. So we are sitting at 3.125 million spent currently, and we were low on vit, and I do want to pick up the pants next, so that's what I go ahead and I do here. I want to get some with high vitality, because pants are just a great place to get that vitality. You can get them with 2 sockets, just in case you had to use amethyst in there. So I didn't want to spend 1.2 million, or else I probably would have picked up that pair there. So I do go ahead, I'm going to lower my vitality, see what comes up. And as you see, a whole bunch of lower priced items do come up here. I did want to get one pair of pants that was level 63, so it had the higher armor values, but I just wasn't able to. So I do go ahead, buy out a cheaper pair here, and these are going to be our winners. So that's going to put us up to 3.475 million. And we're going to go for some rings next. We are doing really good with our budget. The next 6 pieces that we have are actually going to be some of the more expensive pieces, so that is pretty good. I did want to get one ring with all resist, and there is one that was just posted like 2 hours ago that's really cheap, and so I do go ahead, buy that out, and that's going to be great for our all resist. For the next one, I did want to get some average damage. I tried to get some with attack speed or crit hit damage, but I just wasn't able to. The prices were just a little bit too high. So I do have some here that were just posted, so that is pretty good. That one that was 1.48 is actually really nice, but there is that one that's sitting there for 250k, and I think it's just a little bit too good of a deal to pass up. So I do believe I end up buying that out. Yep, there I go. It looks like I'm about to buy it. I was kind of hesitant because that 1.48 million one was pretty good, but for the price, I just couldn't pass it up. So now we're sitting at 4.15. We got our rings really, really cheap. Like, that was super exciting for me. It's going to be actually putting us under budget here, which anytime you can do that, that's going to be great. Just because they're cheap in price doesn't mean they're bad items. So I do go ahead, pick up an amulet. I wanted to get one with good crit hit chance and good attack speed with strength and bit, and there is only one. So I was like, what the heck, I'll go ahead, buy it out. And we're going to go ahead, throw these items back on there. I did want to check and see what my attack speed was sitting at. I was at 2.16 currently. Our vitality has climbed a decent amount. Our offhand is 2.61, so that's actually really, really fast, but we're not going to end up using a dagger for this build. Then we got some gloves here. I want to get some with strength, vit, attack speed of at least 8, and crit chance of 9 or higher, about there. I do go ahead, drop the crit hit or the crit chance value because, well, the prices that were there, or the items that were there, just weren't really in the price range I was looking for, and they didn't quite have the stats either. Like, if it was 2.5 million and it had the stats that I was looking for, yeah, fine, I would have went ahead and bought it out, but they weren't just that great. Now the last two items are going to be our weapons. I did want to get something that was a little bit faster than 0.2 attacks per second, but really I was looking for things that had life on hit, life steal, crit hit damage, and a socket. Because the only crit hit damage we have is from our witching hour. So in that socket we do want to throw in an emerald. And we need life on hit and life steal because we actually have none on this build currently. And for our main hand, we're going to be going for crit hit damage or a socket as well. And the damage of our offhand weapon is not going to matter as much because we are focusing on our run like the wind, the tornadoes that we shoot out. And they're only going to go off of your main hand damage and never your offhand damage. So that's why it's not going to matter as much. So I do go ahead, pick this one up. It had like 900 life on hit, 99 crit hit damage, a socket, and like 2.8 life steal. So it was really, really good. And you can see I actually have 5 mil left to spend on our Echoing Fury. And I was just coming in here one more time to check and see if I needed the 0.22 attacks per second or all the way up to the 2.5 attacks per second that the Echoing Fury can give. And in the long run, it actually didn't end up mattering. I could get any Echoing Fury I wanted, so I do go ahead and check for him with crit hit damage. But the crit hit damage is pretty low, and there wasn't any really good ones with low fear chance. So I do go ahead, I decide I want to throw this socket on there. I'll be able to get 100 crit hit damage on here. So that's just what I do. This one has 0.24 attacks per second. Alright, now let's go ahead and check out these stats real fast. 58k damage. Now that's without emeralds in either one of our weapons. We have over 5k armor, 550 all resist, and 36k life. We were able to break that 2.23 attacks per second threshold, and what that means is each tornado is going to tick 23 times. Crit hit chance of 23%. Pretty excited about that. Didn't know if I was going to be able to break 50. 2.8% life steal, over 900 life per hit. So that's going to be plenty to keep us alive. We'll go ahead and buff ourselves. Over 6k armor, 663 all resist. So they are actually pretty balanced. This one has 68% damage reduction, and this one has 67, so that's not too bad as well. We will throw up our Battle Rage next. Battle Rage is going to boost us 3% crit chance and up to 68k damage. Now we're going to throw our Wrath the Berserker on, and what we're going to want to look at is attacks per second, crit hit chance, and our damage. So our damage is almost boosted 20k. Our attacks per second is 2.64. What that's going to be doing is it's actually going to bump us into the next threshold of 26 ticks per second. And our crit hit chance is 66%. That is going to be plenty to keep our Wrath the Berserker up. Alright guys, well that's it for me. Let me know what you thought about how I did the video and I sped up the buying process. Let me know your likes, dislikes, if you'd like me to do it in the future, that kind of thing. And I am going to be taking this set and using it in a video later about how to keep your Wrath the Berserker up and a little bit more in depth about the Whirlwind build and things to note. So alright guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Chroma Rust for Core Expert Gaming, and you guys have a great day.